If you want to pay us for those, why not? Anyways, I think that's all I got. David, what you doing?
A couple of things. We talked about superheroes a little bit. I watched the newest WB animated movie that came out, Justice League Dark,
is that the consensus still correct? Where like the animated ones are way better than the live action DC stuff?
Way better.
They need to switch teams or something.
Yeah, this movie is now the characters that are in the Justice League, like Superman, Wonder Woman, all those guys. They are now kind of like in all of the WB animated movies. They've kind of set those characters how they look. Like they're not changing the look from movie to movie.
The art's the same.
Well,
because they were changing it, like went kind of Japanese looking, and then they went back.
Yeah, this one is like more similar to the more recent ones that they did. Well, not Batman animated series, but no, it's just more like it's the same style of animation. It's the same quote unquote characters.
Okay,
it's the same Superman version of Superman of the other WB movies.
Is it the same like storyline too that these movies are kind of keeping together?
Sort of, yeah.
So remember the thing you did in that last movie?
They don't make reference like that, but this has to do with the dark part. Has to deal with they introduce Constantine into this, so it's more the like magical part of it. And so
Superman's in trouble.
Yeah, they actually kind of make a joke about like Superman dealing with magic because that's like one of his only weaknesses. But it's Batman. Batman is pretty much the only person in the Justice League that's in this movie, and then you have Constantine. You have some other kind of not lesser known DC characters like Zatanna.
Wasn't it a Constantine movie? Wasn't it like Keanu Reeves or something? Constantine? Or...
Yeah.
Isn't it Zatanna?
It was Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Zatanna, I think is her name. She's like a magician.
Yeah.
She's in it. There's a bunch of other people that are in it. There's, Swamp Thing shows up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like they're pulling out all the stops here.
Reaching deep.
They were supposed to make a movie, a Justice League Dark movie that Guillermo del Toro was working on, but
the Swamp Thing comics that are out now, I've only heard like amazing things about them. Like they're super dark and like really,
Is he
really
like
good.
the same as Killer Croc? Is it different?
No, not even close. Come on, bro. But it's all like magic. Like they have, Felix Faust, the magician, is like one of the bad guys in it. But because the animated movies get away with like cool action sequences, like if you introduce magic, like now you've gone bonkers. Like you could do all this cool stuff. Like they do this thing where, the plot of the very beginning of the movie is like. Normal people in the DC universe, like
Muggles.
They are like Muggles. They're seeing like everyone in the universe becomes like a demon, so everyone's like killing each other. But really, it's just a vision. So like they have this really dark scene where this woman's on the top of a building, and she has her baby, and she's looking down at her baby, and she looks all stressed out, and she's looking down. It's like a demon. And she's like going to throw it off of this high tower. And Batman shows up and he's like, "You're really tired. You don't want to do this."
So they're doing these things in real life, but what they're seeing is...
Okay. Yeah, they think it's like, help me. And like there's this other scene where they show up to like a family's house and the father has like a shotgun pointed at his wife and two kids and they're on the ground. "Stop, honey, stop." And he's like...
That was the storyline of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, really?
Where they got like possessed by a ghost and they look around, they're like demons and they're like,
that's the the exact thing that's going on here.
It's also the storyline of the old man Logan, because that's why he killed everybody.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. These aren't, they're not stretching far from the story. But it's cool to see these characters like Zatanna, and there's another character called, I can't even remember his name. His name is Boston, is his real name, but he was like a trapeze person who got shot in the middle of an act, and then like didn't go to heaven or hell and became like this being, and he can like his abilities like enter other people and then like possess them.
Is that I want to say it's Cypher, but Scepter?
No, it is. Give me a second. But
remember when we used to call
Future David?
Yeah, I know.
That guy was so convenient.
Dead Man, that's his name.
Wow, real creative there.
No, he's like this guy, and he like
didn't go to heaven,
he's
didn't go to hell.
Quite dead. He's kind of dead. I don't know
what should we call him?
Dead Man.
Wait, was he female or male? He's male. Dead Man.
Like I said, the movie pulls out...
DC's the worst at that too. They're the worst at
I know,
names.
but I'm just saying
he's got a lot of powers. He's a guy. Superman.
This guy's made of plastic man.
Right.
He looks like a bat.
Anyways, I'm just saying the movie is excellent.
Wait, there's another version of Superman, but it's a girl.
Like the guy who played the
Supergirl.
The voice acting is fantastic in these movies. It's like really, really good. It's funny because like Rosario Dawson does the voice of Wonder Woman, so it's weird to hear her. I'm like, you're double dipping, bro. You're in Marvel and in DC. Like, take it easy. They're gonna tell you someone's gonna get mad at you at some point. But speaking of that, so after I got my Batman fix, I then went and played the first episode of Batman the Telltale series. It's really good.
I heard it's good.
I know you said you don't like the Telltale games, like the Walking Dead ones. This one's really good.
No, I heard it's good, but I'm
like it's cool to see like the Bruce Wayne side of Batman in like a story form, because you don't get that often, and that's why this is like interesting. It's kind of the machinations of like the political part of like Bruce Wayne and Batman, and how those two like entities like work together. Mm-hmm. It's in the it's got the quick time stuff. That's really all they have in their games, and it's the decision making. But it always is funny because now they because they introduced this a while ago where you have a conversation bubble and you get to pick what you're going to say, and then there's like a timer that's going down, and you're like, it's
well, Walking Dead was the thing where it's like, oh, you got to kill this person that you really like, or you got to kill this person you really like. Which one do you want?
Yeah,
it's like, dude, man.
And then it always does whenever you say something. It's like that person remembers it. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have picked that. Because I usually play these games. The first time I play like the righteous, and like but it's really cool. Like you're in the very beginning episode, like Harvey Dent is running for mayor, and he's not Two-Face. It's really cute too, because he's like, I need a campaign slogan. He's like, a new face for Gotham. I'm like, I see what you did there. So it's interesting, like I said. And then because he's running for office, he understands the game. He's like, hey, I gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet. So he's like working with Falcone to like get votes, and Batman's like, or Bruce Wayne's like, so you can like make a deal with the devil, or you can be like the righteous Bruce Wayne and be like, get out of my house. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it, and it's very Batman-y, very brooding.
You're gonna keep playing it?
Yeah, I downloaded the season pass because it was like $12 on Steam, so I was like, yeah, I got $12.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get me. The other game that I finished this week, because I played a lot of video games this week, Metro 2033 Redux. I talked about it a little bit last week, so I finished the game. It's good. It's okay. The story is not as strong as I wanted it to be, but
Is that where the ending you're on like the tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has like a good or a bad ending. I got the bad ending, but I didn't really get a choice in it. I didn't feel like I got a choice, but then I went online and I was like, you have to do like all these little things to get an opportunity to do the good ending. And I'm like, that's lame. Like, it should always be... I mean, I guess I can complain about this.
Is it really a bad ending and you just didn't get the best ending?
Well, yeah. And, like, okay, so here's... Spoiler alert for a game that came out forever ago. So, like, there's these demons, right? And they're called the Dark Ones. And they're, like, this new...
They're like aliens or something?
Yeah, they're kind of like aliens. And so, like, the ending... There's this whole theme running throughout the game of, like, hey, like, war begets war and violence begets violence. So, like, you need to be the person to break the chain. But then, like, all these terrible things, like, these demons are, like, killing all your friends and family. So, at the end, you're like... They give you a choice, like, kill them or don't kill them. And you're like, well, kill them. Right, but it's the whole point of, like, violence begets violence. So, like, the good ending is that you don't kill them, and they see that as, like, oh, you had a choice, you made the right choice, we want peace. We coexist. But I'm like, what if they didn't think that? Like, the 9 out of other 10 times that they're like, perfect, and they kill everyone. But the game is... It does a really cool thing of the game does a really good job of pacing. Like there's parts where it's like incredibly difficult. It's got that feeling of like waves and waves of bad guys, and you like the game gives you very limited ammunition. Yeah. Like there's a part where
and it's currency too, so you're like, I'm going to use my bad ammo, but it.
Oh, I love that part. More games should do that. The currency is also the bullets. So bullets are currency. No, I love it because every gun there is no innocent bystanders. Right. There's no missing. Like when you miss, you're like.
And you have like crappy ammo that's like really cheap, but it's like doesn't do as much damage, or you have like currency of like really good ammo.
Yeah. And there's I love the it's got that post-apocalyptic, everything's broke down. You have to do a gas mask. You have to constantly change the filter to your gas mask, and you have to like take it off and then put it back on and twist it, which is like precious time when a demon is chasing you when you're trying to reload. Like it's just that part. So the pacing of that is fantastic. And then they'll have a moment where it's like an on-rail shooter where you're on like a rail car and things are just running at you and you've got this giant gun and you're just laying away. So it does a really good job of giving you all those first-person shooter fun moments, like a vehicle moment and then like a claustrophobic moment. But there is at the very end of this game, there's a part where you're in this like broke-down library and you're fighting these demons called librarians, and they're just brutally hard. Like they punch you twice and you die. So but they're relatively slow. And I ran out of ammo, and I was like, all I have is melee. All I have is melee. So I had to took me like 45 minutes to kill this thing because I would run up, stab it, and then run away, and then stab it and run away because like it only has because it drops down because there's like 3 levels in this library, and like as it drops down from it takes like an animation second, so I just stab it in the back and then run for like 15 minutes.
And cover, yeah.
And try to get that same animation to happen again.
Jesus.
It's like when you play a game, and you're like, this is working, but this is going to take a long time.
Right.
I had to do
But
that.
worth it because the only other option is I die. And
Have to, and like the save points in this game are not that great, so it's like, we're in like, and then
I sat on a cliff for like 20 minutes and just shot bad guys
Right.
in the Final Fantasy game. I was like, I don't think this was intended to be used this way, but I was like, this gun has unlimited ammo and they can't hit me from here, so it wasn't even strong hitting them at all. But I was just like, I'll just sit here all day. I don't care.
But it was super refreshing to have a game where I ran out of ammunition and like you had to think of something. Like I had grenades left, so I'm like, and of course like the grenades are also like they like you throw them and they like take forever to go off. So it's like I have to just time this right, and like I have to anticipate him where he's gonna fall, and like so it was refreshing to play something like that because that feels old school. But yeah, it was the ending was kind of it was kind of bad. But I'm now gonna play Metro Last Light, which is the sequel to it, and I'm hoping that it kind of keeps up that feel, that just that fact that like every bullet matters. That doesn't happen anymore in games. You get a machine gun with 1,000 rounds,
or just
like,
unlimited ammo, or whatever. The game I played that was similar that I actually liked, but usually I don't like that. It's like the same as cumbersome, like when you get over encumbered or whatever, you have to move slow. I hate that. I just want to pick up everything. Why'd you put it in the game if I can't pick it up? God. Just don't put it in the game if I can't pick it up. I know. Sorry. But no, it's a really weird game to even talk about, but it's King Kong. It was like the opening game of Xbox.
Yeah, I remember.
Super great graphics.
The Peter Jackson movie, right?
Yeah, there was no on-screen anything display at all, and you'd get like there'd be like a box of ammo, and it'd be like 10 bullets in it, and you'd go through that instantly, and like basically the whole game you're looking for like sticks on the ground, and you pick up a stick,
to throw a spear,
and you'd fight like dinosaurs and stuff with these sticks, and that game was super fun. I mean, it was like a 3-hour game at the most, but it was
because it was also kind of just like a proof
it was
of concept.
a proof of graphics and everything. It was really just to show off the Xbox, but it was a lot of fun, and it had that same concept where it was just like if you wasted a bullet on a stupid creature and then had to fight a big like raptor or whatever, you'd be pissed.
But then what's funny in those games too is that like then if early on if you're taught like every bullet matters, then you don't use them, and then like at the end of the game you have like all this ammo, and you're like, oh.
That's kind of the thing with like adventure game stuff. You're like, I'm gonna pick up this potion, but like I'm gonna need it eventually.
You never use.
But you get to the end of like Skyrim or something, you have all these different potions, all these cool like things, and
in Skyrim I have like treasure boxes like full of stuff that I'll never get back to, and like just hoarding things.
This did a good job of like giving you enough ammunition. Like, there was that moment, but most of the game I was just like, I would have to switch to a different gun. And like the reloading in this takes forever because everything's crappy, everything's broken down, and like the worst thing is because it ticks when your gas mask runs out, and it's just really cool animations. Like
he takes
it off and he like throws it on the ground and then he puts a new one and twists it, and you're like, come on, bro, like it's coming after us. Like you can breathe in a second. It's just very tense. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a good game, but I just wish the ending was a little bit better. But whatever. The ending is really weird. It's like up its own butt weird. Anyways, okay. So now that we got through Whatcha Doing, we have a story of the century
of the week.
We've got a couple Marvel things since we've been talking about superheroes.
We are a Marvel podcast after all. Marvel / Star Wars / board games, right?
/ board games. Well, Disney will buy all the board games.
At some point they're gonna own everything.
So a couple of Marvel things. The Iron Fist trailer dropped this past week.